Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurul Afrina and today I will presenting on the Standard Operating Procedure SOP, Hazard Identification, Control Measure and Training Programs in the paper manufacturing industry. The paper manufacturing industry plays a very important role in producing daily essential products such as writing paper, packaging materials and tissue products. However, despite its importance, this industry involves multiple occupational hazards. These hazards include machinery-related accident, chemical exposure, high temperature and pressure systems, noise exposure, and fire risk. Because of this risk, a strong and systematic safety management approach is required to ensure the safety and health of all workers as well as to maintain smooth production operations. First, SOP of manufacturing process. Firstly, I will explain the standard operating procedure for the paper manufacturing process step by step. Step 1, raw material preparation and handling. The process begins with raw materials such as wood logs, wood chips, or recycled paper. These materials are delivered to the site stored in designated areas. Heavy machinery such as forklifts, cranes, and conveyors are used to transport the materials into production lines. At this stage, workers must always remain alert, follow traffic roads, and avoid standing near moving equipment to prevent accidents such as collisions or being stuck by loads. Step 2, pulp manufacturing. The raw materials are processed in large digester. In this process, chemical, heat, and pressure are used to break down the materials and separate fibers. This is a highly crucial stage because it involves high temperature and high pressure system. Operators must continuously monitor pressure, chemical concentration, and temperature readings. Any abnormal condition must be reported immediately to avoid serious incidents such as explosion or equipment failure. Step 3, pulp washing and screening. After pulping, the mixture is washed and screened to remove impurities such as dirt and sand, also unprocessed fibers. The main safety concern at this stage is the wet working environment. Floor can become slippery, increasing the risk of slip and fall accident. Also, workers must be cautious around rotating screens and machinery parts to avoid entanglement or pinch points injuries. Step 4, chemical recovery. In this stage, black liquor produced from the pulping process is sent to recover boilers. The purpose is to recover useful chemical and generate energy. This area is considered high risk due to high temperatures and pressure systems. Also, during maintenance work, lockout and tagout, which is LOTO, procedure must be strictly followed to ensure that machinery cannot be accidentally started while workers are performing maintenance or inspection tasks. Step 5, bleaching process. The pulp is then bleaching using chemicals such as chlorine dioxide, or hydrogen peroxide to improve brightness and whitenesses. This stage involves chemical hazard where exposure to fume or direct contact may cause skin irritation, eye damage, or respiratory issue. Therefore, a proper ventilation system, chemical handling procedure, and emergency eye wash station must always be available in this area. Step 6, stock preparation. In stock preparation, additives such as dyes, filter, and other chemicals are mixed with pulp to achieve the desired paper quality. At this stage, worker must be ensure all chemicals are properly labeled according to safety data sheets or SDS. They must also avoid direct contact, rotating mixer, and follow proper handling procedure to prevent injuries. And lastly, step 7, paper making process. The pulp is formed into sheets of paper using forming machine, roller, and heater drying cylinder. This is one of the most dangerous stage because it involves high-speed rotating equipment. Workers must never place their hands or any parts of their body near roller or near points of as it may result in severe crushing injuries. Okay, next is 2.0 hazard identified. Next, I will explain the hazard identified throughout the paper manufacturing process. In raw material handling, the main hazard include forklift accident collisions, noise exposure, wood dust inhalation, and mechanical injuries. Also, in pulp manufacturing, the hazard are high pressure and temperature risk, chemical exposure, toxic gas release, and potential hazard explosion hazards. Also, in pulp washing and screening, the main risks include slippery floors, rotating equipment, injuries, and poor visibility in wet conditions. In chemical recovery, hazard include boiler exposures, burns from hot surfaces, and exposure to toxic gases. In the bleaching process, workers are exposed to chemical burns, eye irritation, and respiratory problem due to strong bleaching agents. In stock preparation, hazard include cuts from machinery, manual handling injuries, and chemical exposure. And finally, in the paper making process, the main risks include midpoint injuries, fire hazard due to paper dust, high noise level, and moving machinery accidents. Next is 3.0 control measures. To control this hazard, the hierarchy of control is applied. First is engineering controls. Engineering controls are the most effective because they physically remove or reduce hazards. Examples include machine guarding, ventilation system, gas detector, pressure relief valve, anti-slip flooring, and automatic shutdown system. Second, we have administrative control, involve procedures and policies to reduce risk. These include lockout, tag-out procedures, confined space permits, safety inspection, housekeeping programs, training schedules, and clear warning signage in hazardous area. Finally, personal protective equipment, which is PPE. PPE is the last line of defense. Workers are required to wear appropriate PPE such as safety helmets, gloves, respirator, hearing protection, face shield, and safety boot depending on their job task. PPE does not remove hazard. It helps reduce the severity of injuries if an accident occurs. Lastly, 4.0 training programs. Training is an important part of workplace safety to ensure that all workers are competent and aware of risks. Chemical safety training ensures workers understand how to handle hazardous chemical safely and respond to spills or exposure incident. LOTO training teaches workers how to isolate machinery during maintenance to prevent accidental startup. Third is confined space entry training prepares workers for safety entry into tanks, boiler, or enclosed area, including gas testing and emergency rescue procedure. Also, we have boiler safety training focused on safe operations, monitoring and emergency shutdown procedure for high pressure system. Hearing conservation training help also understand the effect of long-term noise exposure and how to protect their hearing. Also, we have emergency response training, ERT, prepares worker to respond effectively to fire, chemical spills and excavation situations. And lastly, 5S and housekeeping training promotes a clean, organized, and efficient workplace, reducing risks such as sleep, trips, and fire hazard. For conclusion, the paper manufacturing industry involves various occupational hazards that can significantly affect workers' safety and health if not properly managed. Therefore, implementing proper SOPs, effective hazard control measure, PPE usage, and continuous safety training is essential in reducing workplace accident and ensure safe operations. As safety and health officer, it is our responsibilities to ensure that all safety procedures are followed and that a safe working environment is maintained at all times. Thank you.